Listen closely. Your subconscious mind is the secret boss of your life. It works every single second, shaping your reality based only on the thoughts you let control you. It never argues, it never questions, it just obeys your orders. If you plant thoughts of doubt, you will get failure. If you plant thoughts of faith, you will get success. This isn't magic, it is a clear law of the mind. Think of your mind as rich soil, and every thought as a seed. The life you live, your harvest, is completely decided by what you plant and how well you protect it. Your subconscious only pays attention to your strongest feelings. When you mix a clear desire with absolute belief, your mind starts working. It attracts the right ideas, people, and situations that will lead you to your goal. Fear, however, is a poison. It kills the seeds of your ambition. You must remove it right away. Replace fear with courage. You have a direct command line to your subconscious called auto-suggestion. Every single day, speak to yourself as if your success has already happened. Repeat your vision until it feels like a real, living truth inside your mind. Once your subconscious believes it, it works hard to make it real. Imagination is your blueprint. It is not just daydreaming. It is the first step of creating. If you can clearly see it, your subconscious can build it. Combine that vision with constant action and nothing can stop you. Guard your mind like a bank vault filled with gold. Never let gossip, fear, or negative talk enter. What enters your mind enters your life. Today, decide to fill your mind only with success, gratitude, and victory. The power is already yours. You are the commander. What orders will you give to the mind that never stops working for you? Your subconscious mind never sleeps. It is a quiet, powerful force that shapes your life, whether you are awake or asleep. It doesn't rest. It doesn't ask questions. It doesn't decide if something is helpful or hurtful. It simply accepts whatever you give it, your repeated thoughts, your strongest feelings, and your spoken words. Then it works non-stop to make those things real in your life. If you always think about problems, fears, and limits, your subconscious will create more situations to match those thoughts. If you always feed it vision, faith, and willpower, it will open doors you never knew were there. This is not a magic trick. This is a practical truth you can prove. Every success, every failure, and every pattern in your life is a direct result of what you have been feeding your subconscious. The key word is dominant. We all have random passing thoughts that mean nothing. But the thoughts you focus on, the ones you charge with strong feeling and repeat over and over, those are the commands your subconscious accepts. If you always say, "I can't afford this," your mind accepts the limit and blocks ideas to earn more. If you say with true belief, "I am unstoppable, I attract opportunities," your subconscious starts working to make that true. This is why repetition is so powerful. A single thought is a seed thrown away. A thought repeated with strong feeling is a seed you water every day until it grows into a strong, unmovable tree. Every great person knows this. They speak their goals aloud, see them clearly, and hold them in their mind until their subconscious has no choice but to make them real. Here is the truth most people miss. Your subconscious doesn't care if you feed it garbage. If you constantly say you are unlucky, it will make sure you stay unlucky. If you surround yourself with people who complain and talk bad, you are feeding your mind poison every day. Your subconscious will quietly turn that poison into your reality. The answer is clear. Guard your mind like a fortress. Do not let any destructive word, toxic thought, or picture of failure take root. Be very careful about what you read, what you watch, and who you spend time with. Every input is programming your mind for success or failure. When you understand that your subconscious never sleeps, you realize your main work is not in the outside world. Your main work is inside your own mind. Give it clear orders and trust it will find the path. If you want success, hold that thought until it burns like fire. Every thought you feel strongly becomes your reality. A thought without deep feeling is like a seed thrown on dry dirt. It will never grow roots. But a thought charged with emotion is planted deep into the fertile ground of your subconscious. This is why two people with the same goal get different results. One thinks about it without feeling, and nothing happens. The other thinks about it with passion, excitement, and certainty, and the goal starts appearing in their life. The difference is emotional energy. Your subconscious responds to emotion much more than it responds to facts. When you hold a thought with strong emotion, you give your mind a direct command. This is real. If that emotion is fear, your mind will build walls around you. If the emotion is faith, your mind will build bridges to your goal. This is why worry is so dangerous. When you worry with strong emotion, you are programming your mind to create more problems. You are seeing what you don't want, and your subconscious works to create that image. You must use that same power of vivid feeling and focus it on what you do want. This emotional connection convinces your subconscious that success is already here. And once it believes something is real, it works non-stop to make it visible in your life. Faith in your vision is the command code. It tells your subconscious, this is the outcome, now find the way. From that moment, your subconscious becomes an unstoppable hunter. It searches for every piece of information, every contact, and every possibility that can help you. You will hear an idea, read a book, or meet a person that aligns perfectly with your needs. It feels like luck, but it is your subconscious connecting dots you didn't know existed. This is why people with strong faith seem lucky. They are not lucky. They are tuned in. Their mind is programmed to attract and act on the resources that serve their vision. Doubt is like static on a radio. It scrambles the signal. Faith clears the signal. It sends one strong, clear message. This is happening. Find the way. Faith is not passive wishing. It is active certainty. It is the deep knowing that what you desire will happen. You strengthen this faith muscle through repetition, vision, and action. Every time you refuse to speak doubt, you make your faith stronger. Every time you take a step when fear tells you to stop, you make it stronger. Your subconscious accepts that your vision is non-negotiable. Fear is a poison. Eliminate it before it roots. It starts as a whisper of doubt, but if you let it stay, it grows. Fear disguises itself as caution, but its real job is to paralyze you. Fear kills dreams long before failure ever does. People fail because they never start or quit too soon, and the reason is always fear. Fear trains your subconscious to protect you by keeping you small and locking you inside your comfort zone. This means fear protects you from the very opportunities that would change your life. Action starves fear. When you take a step toward the thing you are avoiding, you send a signal that you are in control, not the fear. Fear cannot survive in the presence of decisive action. You must also be ruthless about your environment. Fear spreads like a virus through negative people and negative talk. Surround yourself with those who believe in possibility. Your subconscious is the bridge between your desire and its achievement. Your conscious mind sets the destination, but your subconscious charts the course. Your job is to program the bridge correctly with clear, vivid, and emotionally charged images of your goal as if it is already achieved. The time will pass either way. Your future self will live in the harvest of the seeds you plant today. What you plant in your mind, you will harvest in your life. Choose your seeds carefully, water them with belief, and never stop planting the life you truly want to live. Your subconscious mind never sleeps, and neither should your vision. Feed it with faith, guard it with discipline, direct it with clarity, and watch as it reshapes your reality into the life you have always imagined. What you plant in it, you will harvest, positive or negative. Your mind is the richest soil you will ever own. It will grow anything you choose to plant in it. It does not question the seed. It does not ask if the seed will help you or destroy you. It simply accepts it, nurtures it, and brings it to life. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, you will live in a garden of failure. If you plant seeds of faith, courage, and determination, you will live in a garden of abundance. The choice is yours, and it is made every single day in every single thought you allow to stay in your mind. Most people don't even realize they are planting. They wake up and complain about the day. They tell themselves they are tired, unlucky, or broke. They speak words of defeat without knowing that every word is a seed, and their subconscious is working day and night to make those words reality. They think it's harmless to say, "I'm always late," or "Nothing ever works out for me," but those statements are orders, and the subconscious never refuses an order. Understand this, your subconscious mind works with precision. It takes whatever is planted and brings it into form. If you plant a seed of an oak tree, you will never get roses. If you plant weeds, you cannot expect fruit. The quality of your life will always match the quality of the seeds you plant. This is why it is not enough to simply hope for success. You must intentionally plant thoughts of success. You must feed your mind daily with the images, the words, and the emotions that match the life you want to live. This is the law of cause and effect at its most intimate level. Your thoughts are the cause. Your life is the effect. You can spend your life trying to fix the effects, your financial struggles, your broken relationships, your lack of confidence. But if you do not change the cause, the same effects will keep coming back. Change the seeds, and the harvest must change. You see, the harvest is always greater than the seed. A single thought of fear, if nurtured, will grow into a full-blown habit of hesitation, missed opportunities, and regret. A single thought of courage, if nurtured, will grow into bold action, breakthrough moments, and extraordinary results. That's why you must treat every thought with seriousness. You can't casually plant poison and expect health. You can't casually plant greatness and expect it to survive without attention. Your mind will grow whatever you allow it to grow. That means you must guard it like a farmer guards his best field. A wise farmer doesn't let anyone throw weeds into his soil. He doesn't let the ground go dry. He doesn't plant once and then walk away. He works the soil every day. He pulls out weeds the moment they appear. He waters the good seeds. He makes sure the conditions are right for growth. You must do the same with your mind. Weeds are negative thoughts, the doubts, fears, and criticisms you hear from yourself or others. If you do not remove them quickly, they will choke out your good seeds. And here's the danger. Weeds grow faster than flowers if left alone. That is why people who don't consciously plant positive thoughts end up living a life overrun with problems. They didn't choose it, but they didn't stop it either. On the other hand, good seeds, thoughts of confidence, gratitude, vision, and persistence need constant care. You must speak them daily. You must visualize them. You must surround yourself with people and environments that nourish them. You must keep them alive until they take root so deep that no storm can uproot them. This is why daily habits matter so much. The books you read, the conversations you have, the videos you watch, the thoughts you entertain before sleep, these are all seeds. If you fill your mind with stories of failure, anger, and fear, you are planting a harvest you will hate. If you fill your mind with lessons, encouragement, and visions of success, you are planting a harvest you will love. Do not underestimate the power of small seeds. A single daily affirmation repeated with emotion can completely reprogram your subconscious over time. A single daily visualization can shift your actions and decisions until your entire life changes direction. But the opposite is also true. A single daily complaint repeated over and over can slowly destroy your potential and trap you in mediocrity. What you plant is not decided by accident, it is decided by discipline. If you want to live in a harvest of wealth, you must plant wealth consciousness. If you want to live in a harvest of health, you must plant health consciousness. If you want to live in a harvest of love, you must plant thoughts of love and gratitude. You cannot plant scarcity and reap abundance. You cannot plant resentment and reap peace. Your subconscious mind does not care about your excuses. It does not care about your intentions. It only works with what you plant. That's why you must become ruthless about protecting your mental garden. If someone tries to plant doubt in you, reject it instantly. If fear creeps in, replace it immediately with a thought of faith. If you catch yourself speaking failure, stop mid-sentence and speak success instead. The time will pass anyway. The days will turn into weeks, the weeks into months, and the months into years. By then, your garden will either be filled with the results of deliberate planting or overrun by the weeds you ignored. Your future self will live in the harvest of the seeds you plant today. There is no escaping this truth. What you plant in it, you will harvest, positive or negative. Choose your seeds carefully. Water them with belief and protect them from weeds. And never stop planting the life you truly want to live. Every thought you hold with emotion becomes your reality. Not every passing thought has power, but the ones you fuel with feeling. Those are the architects of your future. A thought without emotion is like a seed thrown on dry ground. It may exist for a moment, but will never grow roots. But a thought charged with emotion is planted deep into the fertile soil of your subconscious, where it takes root, grows, and eventually shapes the circumstances of your life. This is why two people can think about the same goal and have completely different results. One person thinks about it casually, without belief, without urgency, without feeling, and nothing changes. The other thinks about it with passion, with excitement, with absolute certainty. And soon that goal begins to appear in their reality. The difference is not luck. The difference is emotional energy. Your subconscious mind responds to emotion far more than it responds to logic. When you hold a thought with strong emotion, you are giving your subconscious a direct command. You are telling it, this matters, this is real, this is what I want. And your subconscious begins working to align your actions, your habits, and even your opportunities with that vision. If the emotion is fear, it will build barriers around you. If the emotion is faith, it will build bridges to your goal. This is why worry is so dangerous. When you think about your problems with strong emotion, you are programming your subconscious to create more problems. You are visualizing what you don't want. And your subconscious does not distinguish between want and don't want. It simply works to produce the image you are holding. The more vividly and emotionally you imagine failure, the more your mind will guide you toward it. On the other hand, if you take the same power, the power of vivid imagination mixed with emotion, and focus it on what you do want, you ignite one of the most unstoppable forces in existence. You are no longer just hoping for success. You are feeling it, living it, breathing it before it happens. This emotional connection convinces your subconscious that it is already real. And once it accepts something as real, it works tirelessly to make it visible in your life. Think about the last time you truly wanted something with all your heart. You didn't just think about it, you felt it. You saw yourself having it. You imagined the moment, the sounds, the colors, the sensations. That emotional clarity pulled you toward it. You made decisions without hesitation. You noticed opportunities you would have ignored before. That is the magic of combining thought with emotion. It transforms ideas into action and action into results. But here is the trap. This power works in both directions. If you hold a negative thought with strong emotion, you are building that reality just as effectively as if it were positive. People who constantly replay painful events, betrayals, or failures with emotion are unknowingly rehearsing more of the same. They are feeding their subconscious a script of defeat and asking it to produce more scenes from that script. And it will. That's why emotional discipline is critical. You cannot control every thought that passes through your mind, but you can control which ones you give emotion to. You can choose to starve the thoughts that weaken you and feed the thoughts that strengthen you. You can choose to give your full emotional energy to visions of success, health, and abundance, instead of visions of loss, sickness, and scarcity. One of the most powerful ways to use this principle is through visualization. Don't just see your goal in your mind. Feel it. Imagine what it would be like to have it now. Feel the gratitude, feel the pride, feel the excitement. This emotional rehearsal programs your subconscious as if the event has already happened. It begins guiding you almost without effort toward actions that will bring it into the physical world. The same principle applies to self-talk. Words backed by emotion leave deep impressions. If you say, "I am unstoppable," with conviction, your subconscious takes it as truth. If you say, "I can't do this," with despair, your subconscious also takes that as truth. The key is to speak only what you want to believe and to speak it with emotional certainty. Remember, your subconscious mind is not moved by empty words. You can repeat an affirmation 1,000 times without feeling and see no change, but speak it once with deep emotion, and it will begin to shift your internal programming immediately. That is why emotion is the multiplier. It turns weak thoughts into strong commands. When you combine clarity of thought with the fire of emotion, you create a mental blueprint so real that your mind cannot ignore it. And here is the best part. Once you have planted that emotional blueprint, your subconscious will work 24/7 to make it real. It will attract the right people, bring the right ideas, and guide you to take the right actions, often without you even realizing it. This is the secret behind every great achievement. The inventor feels the thrill of solving the problem before the solution appears. The athlete feels the glory of victory before stepping on the field. The entrepreneur feels the pride of success before opening the business. They all create their future in their mind first, fueled by powerful emotion, and then reality follows. Every thought you hold with emotion becomes your reality. That is the rule. It does not fail. It does not make exceptions. The question is not whether the law works, or the question is, are you using it for you or against you? If you want a better reality, you must first create it inside yourself, and you must charge it with the kind of emotion that makes your subconscious believe it's already true. Once it believes, your reality will follow. Faith in your vision programs your subconscious to seek solutions. When you believe in your goal with absolute certainty, your subconscious becomes a relentless hunter, scanning every moment of your life for opportunities to make it real. Faith is not passive wishing. It is active conviction. It is the deep, unshakable knowing that what you desire will happen not because you hope for it, but because you have already claimed it in your mind. When faith takes root in your vision, your subconscious stops asking if and starts asking how. Without faith, even the clearest vision will crumble under the weight of doubt. You may know what you want, you may have written it down, but if deep inside you do not believe it's possible, your subconscious will find reasons to hold you back instead of ways to push you forward. The mind cannot serve two masters. If you feed it faith, it will create a path to your goal. If you feed it doubt, it will create walls. Faith acts like a command code for your subconscious. It gives the mind a directive that says, this is the outcome, now find the way. From that moment, your subconscious becomes alert to every piece of information, every contact, every possibility that can help. You may hear a casual comment in conversation and suddenly realize it's the solution you were searching for. You may stumble across an article, a book, or an event that aligns perfectly with your needs. It will feel like coincidence, but it's not. It's your subconscious at work, connecting dots you didn't even know existed. This is why people with strong faith often appear lucky. They are not lucky. They are tuned in. Their mind is already programmed to notice, attract, and act upon the resources that serve their vision. Meanwhile, those who doubt walk past opportunities every day, blind to them because their subconscious is not looking for them. Faith is the bridge between desire and action. Desire says, I want this. Faith says, it is already mine. And that subtle difference changes everything. When you operate from faith, you carry yourself differently. You speak with more certainty. You take bolder steps. You are not paralyzed by fear of failure because you've already accepted the outcome as inevitable. This confidence fuels your subconscious even more, keeping it in constant problem-solving mode until the result is achieved. But faith is not built overnight. It is a muscle. You strengthen it through repetition, visualization, and action. Every time you choose to hold your vision in the face of obstacles, you make your faith stronger. Every time you refuse to speak words of doubt, you make it stronger. Every time you take a step forward when fear tells you to stop, you make it stronger. Your subconscious notices these moments. It begins to accept that your vision is not a passing wish. It's a non-negotiable. You must understand that your subconscious does not argue with you. It accepts whatever you tell it consistently, especially when emotion is attached. If you tell it every day that your vision is certain and you speak those words with genuine belief, it will align your entire mental and physical energy toward fulfilling it. Even when you consciously feel unsure, your subconscious will still be at work because you have programmed it through persistent faith. Decide today to program it only with success, gratitude, and victory. The power is already yours. You are the commander. The only question is, what orders will you give to the mind that never stops working for you? Your subconscious mind never sleeps. It obeys your dominant thoughts. It is the quiet, unseen power that shapes your life while you are awake and while you sleep. It does not take a break. It does not ask questions. It does not decide whether something is good or bad for you. It simply accepts what you give it, your repeated thoughts, your deep emotions, your spoken words, and then works tirelessly to make those things real in your life. If you constantly dwell on problems, fears, and limitations, your subconscious will create more situations to match those thoughts. If you constantly feed it with vision, faith, and determination, it will open doors you didn't even know existed. This is not some distant mystical theory. It is a practical truth you can prove in your own life. Every success, every failure, every habit, every repeated pattern you live today is a direct result of what you have been feeding your subconscious in the past. Think about it. The greatest inventions, the most brilliant solutions, and even the turning points in history often came to people in moments when their conscious mind was relaxed, yet their subconscious was still working. That's why people wake up with answers to problems they struggled with the day before. The subconscious mind never shuts down. It is a loyal servant, but like any servant, it will follow whatever orders it is given, even if those orders lead to destruction. That's why you must take absolute control over your dominant thoughts. The key word here is dominant. We all have passing thoughts that mean nothing. But the thoughts you dwell on, the ones you charge with emotion and repeat over and over, those are the ones your subconscious accepts as commands. If you constantly say, "I can't afford this," your subconscious accepts it and blocks every idea that could help you earn more. If you say, "I always get sick," your subconscious will make your body obey. But if you say with conviction, "I am unstoppable, I attract opportunities, I am in control of my destiny," your subconscious will begin working to make those things true. This is why repetition is so powerful. Your subconscious learns through consistent emotional suggestion. A single thought spoken once is like planting a seed and walking away. But a thought repeated with conviction is like watering that seed every day until it grows into an unshakable tree. Every great achiever understands this principle. They speak their goals out loud. They visualize them. They hold them in their mind until their subconscious has no choice but to accept them as reality. But here is the truth that most people ignore. Your subconscious doesn't care if you feed it garbage. If you constantly say you are unlucky, your subconscious will make sure you stay unlucky. If you constantly talk about how tired you are, your subconscious will make you feel more tired. If you surround yourself with people who complain and speak negativity, you are feeding your mind poison every single day. Your subconscious will quietly turn that poison into reality, because that's what it does. It works with what it is given. The solution is clear. Guard your mind like a fortress. Let no destructive word, no toxic thought, no vision of failure take root in your subconscious. Be intentional about what you read, what you watch, and who you spend time with. Every word you hear, every image you see, every emotion you feel is either programming your subconscious for success or for failure. Choose wisely. When you understand that your subconscious mind never sleeps, you realize that your job is not to work harder in the outside world first, it's to work harder inside your own mind. You must train it like you would train an elite soldier. Give it precise orders, direct it with clarity, and then trust that it will find the path, even if your conscious mind cannot yet see it. If you desire success, hold that thought in your mind until it burns like fire. If you want health, see yourself healthy every single day. If you want wealth, feel the emotions of already having it. These mental states, repeated over time, will be picked up by your subconscious, and it will work relentlessly to align your reality with that inner image. Your subconscious doesn't understand jokes or sarcasm. It only knows what you tell it repeatedly. That's why people who say things like, "Knowing my luck, something will go wrong," always seem to experience problems. Their subconscious is simply carrying out their instructions. You must speak only what you want to live, and you must speak it with faith, not doubt. When you lie down to sleep, your conscious mind may rest, but your subconscious is still active, still following your last dominant thoughts of the day. That's why the moments before sleep are powerful. They are the perfect time to impress your subconscious with images and words of victory, success, health, and abundance. If you go to bed thinking about your problems, you are handing your subconscious a blueprint of struggle to work on all night. If you go to bed thinking about your goals and dreams, you are handing it a blueprint of success. The bottom line is this: your subconscious mind is the most loyal worker you will ever have. It does not need rest. It does not need motivation. It only needs direction. Most people run from happiness because they think it's luck or tied to money or how others treat them. But happiness is discipline. It's not handed out. It's earned every single day, especially when life turns its back on you, especially in the storm. The world won't put joy on a silver platter. You must take it. You must command your mind to choose strength over weakness. Every morning when your feet hit the floor, you face a choice. Will you control your attitude or let your circumstances control it? That decision determines everything. Pain is not a sentence, it's a signal. Letting chaos rule your inner world steals your power. True strength is forged in the fires of difficulty, not comfort. Discipline your thoughts when tired. Focus your spirit when hurting. Smile when it feels unnatural. That smile is fuel. Push yourself to be happy, not because life is easy, but because you are stronger than your struggle. Stop waiting for life to get better. Start becoming better. There will be days you feel broken, days joy seems foreign. Those are the days that define you. Dig deeper or give up. Build peace brick by brick in the dark. Create joy when the world says you shouldn't. That is power. That is resilience. That is what separates the average from the unstoppable. You don't need permission to be happy. You don't need perfection. You need high standards, mental and emotional. No matter what comes, you rise. Not because life is fair, but because you trained your mind to rise anyway. When you hand your joy to others, you hand them the keys to your soul. Take them back. Feed your vision, not your pain. Rewrite the story of your life. Speak like someone with power. Think like someone with purpose. Walk like someone who knows happiness is an act of will, not a wish. Every morning repeat, today I choose strength. Today I choose joy. Today I rise. Say it until your spirit obeys, until your attitude is unbreakable. Life is heavy, but you are heavier. You are forged in fire for this moment. Happiness isn't a prize, it's a product of effort, discipline, and vision. Do it every day, especially when it's hardest, when no one is watching, when you hurt. One day you'll realize happiness isn't something you chase, it's something you become. It is built, not found. It's not given by others nor granted by fate. The moment you wait to feel good before acting, you've already lost. Happiness is earned in silence, in struggle, in solitude. Most people refuse to accept this. They wait for better days. The strongest minds create them. The average looks at circumstances. The uncommon shapes their response. You don't control what happens around you, but you do control how you interpret it. That interpretation builds your emotional life. Want peace? Think peace. Want to feel alive? Act with purpose. No one will do it for you. Build yourself or break yourself. There is no middle ground. Every morning, life gives you a choice. Stay where you are or rise. Give in or grow. Wait for happiness or create it. Happiness demands effort. Not once, not sometimes, but every single day. Train for joy. Train for peace. When the world pushes you down, your default response will either destroy you or drive you. That default is built through repeated focus. Train your mind to push through, not fold. When life gets hard, habits speak louder than motivation. You don't wait to feel inspired. You act with discipline, and inspiration follows. Happiness flows from within, not from outside. Waiting for someone else to change so you can feel free is giving away your power. Today is yours. No matter yesterday, no matter who hurt you, it is your mind, your mood, your life. Build happiness when you're tired, frustrated, and see no results. That is the test. That is the moment your future is being carved. Showing up when every excuse tells you to quit, that is courage. Feeling empty but speaking power into your soul anyway, that is strength. Real winners don't win because life is easy. They win because they decide every day to push forward, to align emotions with their mission, not their misery. You don't get to opt out. Demand happiness from yourself. Set the tone. Set the standard. Act with courage. Smile with intention. Think with clarity. Hard times are the gym for your soul. You either lift or collapse. In that pain, the seeds of true joy are planted. Joy that cannot be stolen by disappointment, cannot be shaken by failure. It is earned because you showed up when you didn't have to, because you kept your vision clear in the fog. That is how builders think, how winners live. Command your mind. Lead, don't hope. Heat up from within. Carry the day with posture and pride. Keep building even when the world isn't cooperating. You are here to conquer the day, not survive it. Happiness is built through daily self-leadership. You do not need life to be easy to be happy. You need discipline. When others see you smile through struggle, they'll wonder why. There is no secret, just brutal, beautiful daily leadership of your own mind. Refuse to let circumstances decide your spirit. Every time you push yourself toward the highest version of yourself, not because it's comfortable, but because it's right, you forge happiness. You command your state daily. You were not born to be at the mercy of moods or chaos. You were built to rule them. When you beg for peace, strength, or motivation, you have handed your power away. Weak spirits follow. Strong spirits lead. Today, you answer to something higher than feelings. You answer to who you choose to be. Rise, lead, command. Train your emotions to obey your mind, not the other way around. Build strength by repetition, by persistence, by showing up when nothing feels right. That is how unbreakable minds are formed. Fear will scream, doubt will whisper, chaos will tempt you to retreat. Speak louder, lean in, command your presence, your breath, your thoughts, not in arrogance but clarity. Surrendering your emotions to luck or approval weakens you. Weak spirits crumble. You are here to lead, to walk into fire with a calm mind and a strong heart. The storm cannot stop you if you control your sail, your state. Respond with purpose, focus, and force. You did not endure everything to be led by fleeting feelings. You came to master yourself. Stop waiting to feel better. Push past comfort. Rise through resistance. Never let emotions pull you away from the person you were born to be. Adversity is the invitation to grow. Respond with joy. Every struggle is not here to break you. It's here to build you. Transform pain into focus, loss into fuel, delays into deeper drive. This transformation is deliberate, earned, and relentless. The choice to respond with joy is not soft. It is one of the hardest, most powerful choices you will ever make. Adversity strips away the surface and reveals what you are made of. Will you be crushed by circumstance or rise as a warrior? Every challenge asks, how strong are you willing to become? Answer with action, discipline, and joy, and nothing can defeat you. The person adversity cannot touch is one who faces the fire, doesn't whine, doesn't wait for help, and walks through. That person lives in you, but only emerges when you stop complaining and start commanding. Command your energy, your thoughts, your response. You control perspective even if you can't control pain. See adversity as training. The heavier the weight, the stronger you become. Every hard day shapes your future victories. Every delay teaches patience. Every loss builds humility. Every betrayal sculpts wisdom. Wounds become weapons. The world will test you endlessly, but life's storms prepare you to be unshakable. Stop seeing problems as interruptions. They are the path. Stop resisting lessons. They are the way. True strength responds with purpose, even when life is hard. That kind of mindset doesn't complain. It commands. It builds the future brick by unbreakable brick. Pressure is a privilege. Diamonds are forged under fire. Leaders are born in adversity, not applause. Pain is not a signal to stop. It is a signal to build. Respond with joy, not because it feels good, but because because the result is worth it. Smile and struggle, not weakness but revealed strength. This is your moment. You've complained enough. Now respond with power, clarity, and joy. Discipline creates happiness, not motivation, not luck, but discipline. Discipline moves when tired, broken, uninspired. That movement builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence grounded in consistent action builds happiness unshaken by circumstance. In chaos, discipline gives you control. In storm, it anchors you. Most break under pressure not because of lack of talent, but because of lack of self-command. They wait to feel good, to act right. Winners act anyway. They build systems that function even when their heart feels heavy. That's where happiness begins, not in comfort, but in consistency. Strength is forged in difficulty. Joy is created in discipline. You don't become strong doing what's easy. You don't become joyful avoiding discomfort. You become both by confronting the difficult with unshakable commitment. Every day you choose to rise. Every day you build. Every day you train your mind, your heart, your spirit to command life, not be commanded by it. Happiness is not found, it is built, and you are the builder. Discipline is the choice to do what is right over what is easy. It is saying no when the world shouts yes. It is holding your ground when every fiber of your mind screams to quit. Each time you stay focused, honest, and hungry, you deepen respect for yourself, and that respect becomes trust in your own power. Happiness built on results is fragile. Results can vanish, people can disappoint, circumstances can crumble, but happiness built on discipline is unshakable. Your habits, your routine, your inner framework carry you when the world falters. When others panic, you move with purpose because you have trained your mind to obey principle, not impulse. Discipline is emotional muscle memory. It is doing the hard work when no one watches, exercising, studying, choosing growth over comfort. Small acts, repeated daily, build a foundation so strong that nothing can shake it. Peace emerges when you stop betraying yourself, and joy rises when your choices align with your truth. Discipline is what gets you up when life hits you down. It is the hand you extend to yourself saying, "This hurts, but we move anyway." That voice inside you is forged through repetition, daily choices, saying yes to growth, no to weakness, even when weakness disguises itself as comfort, rest, or distraction. The greatest threat to joy is permission to stay average. The world urges softness, but softness repeated becomes sorrow. Nothing drains joy faster than unfulfilled potential. Nothing consumes like knowing you chose less when you could have been more. Discipline silences regret before it starts. It teaches you to rely on your actions, not circumstances, for happiness. You rise not when life is perfect, but because you refuse to surrender your power. Discipline is your rebellion against chaos, your proof that you will not break. It is doing the hard things simply because it is right. Others may call it luck. You know it is discipline. Discipline gives clarity when emotions cloud your mind. It creates structure when chaos surrounds you. It stabilizes you when the world shakes. And that stability becomes happiness because you are leading, not reacting. You are steady, grounded, and strong because your choices are intentional, your standards are high, your habits are solid. You do not need to love discipline to be transformed by it. You just need to do it, day after day, choice after choice, until the habits that once felt heavy feel like freedom. That freedom becomes joy, not fleeting, but a foundation. Discipline creates happiness, especially when it is hardest, because that is when it matters most. No external force can control your mind unless you allow it. Your thoughts, your focus, your next move, they are yours, sacred and inviolable. Too many give their power away every day, letting opinion, defeat, and noise shape them. They react instead of create, living as slaves to circumstance. But no one can ruin your day unless you permit it. No event can define you unless you believe it can. No hardship can break you unless you consent to stay broken. The battle is internal. Your inner world shapes your outer results. Mastering it gives you unshakable power. Pain will come, pressure will rise, but your roots, values, and principles run deeper than surface chaos. Real power is not controlling the world. It is refusing to let the world control you. People and situations will test your peace, but you always hold the authority. You are not your feelings, your mistakes, or your environment. You are the observer, the decision maker, the gatekeeper of your mind. If you do not choose your state, the world will choose it for you. If you do not define your mindset, your emotions will. If you do not lead yourself from within, you will be dragged by forces beyond your control. No storm can steal your stillness unless you hand it over. No setback can rewrite your identity unless you allow it. Transformation begins when you realize the choice is always yours. You reclaim your time, your focus, your strength. You stop waiting for fairness and start thriving despite circumstances. Control is not everything going your way. It is nothing controlling your way of thinking. Anchoring your spirit in discipline, clarity, and truth allows you to walk through chaos with purpose. You rise above the noise, carrying power even when applause fades, speaking strength into yourself when life whispers weakness. When you live this way, everything changes. Your environment no longer dictates your state. Your relationships no longer define your joy. Your dreams no longer rely on external validation. That internal shift is everything. You begin leading from within, aligning with vision instead of reaction. You anchor your day in intention instead of chaos. Nothing outside can shake you because your foundation is unshakable. You do not say, "They made me angry," or "It ruined my day." You say, "I decide what I think, how I feel, who I am." That mindset builds not just success, but peace, joy, and a life led from within. Your choices rooted in principles create an unbreakable foundation. Life tests you to remind you of your power, to awaken you to your leadership, and to show you that your happiness is never in anyone else's hands. Every morning you rise either with intention or excuses. There is no neutral. Your first thoughts set the tone. Hesitation leads to chasing hours and reacting to life. Clarity and conviction lead to unstoppable action. Discipline is choosing to move before you feel ready, to lead yourself before certainty, to chase purpose when doubt screams louder than courage. The first hour of your day determines whether you are in control or controlled. Those who rise with intention are not gifted. They choose action over fear. They set their standards before the day sets its traps. They prepare their minds like athletes prepare their bodies. Strength is built in the silent hours when no one is watching, when every part of you wants to surrender. That is where champions are forged. Your mornings shape your life. They either build the future you want or bury it beneath excuses. Thoughts are seeds. Repeated, they become your identity. Fearful thoughts create fear-filled lives. Doubt-filled thoughts create stagnation. Intentional, disciplined thinking creates strength, resilience, and clarity. You are what you think repeatedly. You must treat your thoughts like assets, not accidents. Every moment is a choice. What you amplify, what you ignore, what you embody. Mastered thoughts create a mind you can trust, a battlefield you command, a life you lead. Gratitude, vision, and truth are weapons you must use daily. Build the mental atmosphere you want, one thought at a time, until it becomes automatic. Your thoughts set your emotional climate, which shapes your actions, your words, your results. Distraction, fear, and chaos will try to fill your mind, but you are the gatekeeper. Focus on purpose and growth, and they expand. Feelings follow thoughts. Clarity follows intentional thinking. Leadership of your mind is responsibility. Repetition creates mastery. Discipline turns heavy habits into freedom, and freedom becomes joy. You cannot rise above the quality of your thoughts. One careless seed repeated becomes limitation. One deliberate thought repeated becomes power. Every choice, every morning, every action is shaping your destiny. The mind you lead today builds the life you inhabit tomorrow. Opportunity begins in the mind. Every achievement starts with the quality of your thoughts. If you want to feel empowered, you must think empowered. If you want hope, think with vision. If you want calm, think with order. This is the true work, the quiet, daily, unglamorous battle within. Win it, and everything else becomes easier. It's not about eliminating every negative thought. It's about building a mind where negativity cannot take root. Your dominant patterns must be intentional, clear, and strong. Then, when you wobble, you return to center, to purpose, to truth. That is the power of a mastered mind. It is the source of emotional control, the secret most ignore. Your thoughts create your emotional environment. Master them. No one will save you from misery. You must rescue yourself. Waiting for someone else to notice, waiting for a break, waiting for life to get easier is surrendering your power. Misery deepens when ignored. The longer you wait, the stronger helplessness grows. No one knows your sleepless nights, your silent screams, the moments you pretend you're fine. Stop waiting for a rescue. No one is more qualified to pull you out than you. The moment you take ownership of your emotions, you begin the climb. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it feels unfair, but no one else can do it for you. Support and encouragement can guide, but they cannot enter your mind and change your thinking. They cannot inject discipline. They cannot make you fight. That decision is yours alone. Those who transform are not the ones with easy paths. They are the ones who finally say, "Enough, I am not staying here." Misery may not be your fault, but healing is your responsibility. You don't need to be perfect or have all the answers. You just need to start. Take one honest action today. Move your body when tired. Speak truth to your pain, even when your voice shakes. Cut off excuses that protect your comfort. Turn off the noise that fuels doubt. This is not pretending life is fine. It's refusing to remain stuck. Capacity to change is meaningless without decision. Decision is meaningless without action. Life tests you. It strips illusions. It puts you face to face with your lowest moments. And in those moments, the question is not who will help me, but will I help myself? Will you rise even broken? Will you speak light into darkness when the end is unseen? You don't need permission to begin healing. You don't need validation to rebuild your mindset. You need courage to face yourself without lies, strength to sit in discomfort without quitting, and vision to believe something better exists, even if no one else sees it. No one sees the war inside you but you. You know the thoughts that try to drown you, the habits that numb you, the cycles that repeat until you scream. Because you see it, you have the power to change it. Misery is not just emotional, it becomes behavioral. Cycles don't break with time, they break with repeated choice. You must be relentless against the version of yourself that wants to stay broken. That version may speak, but it gets no vote. You decide who you become. Waiting kills potential. Every day you delay, you reinforce weakness. You teach yourself that rescue is external when it has always been internal. Stop scrolling, stop numbing, stop believing the lie that you're powerless. You are not helpless, you are powerful. But power must be claimed. It is forged through decisions, unseen, unpraised, and often unrecognized. This is your rescue mission. The only one equipped for it is the one in the mirror. Let others live in denial. Let others drown in excuses. You are not others. You are here because something in you knows life is meant to be shaped, not endured. The chisel is your mindset. The hammer is discipline. The blueprint is vision. Misery only holds power when you stop building. Build when it's hardest. Build when tired. Build when no one believes. Build when the voice in your head whispers it's pointless, because that voice has lied long enough. Stop listening. Self-rescue doesn't mean you never fall. It means you rise every time. It means acting instead of avoiding, courage instead of fear, direction instead of doubt. Misery wants passivity. You were built to move, to lead, to rise. You don't need a perfect plan. You need relentless will. You need a reason so strong it silences every excuse. If you haven't found it, look in the mirror. Your future self is begging you not to quit. No white horse will arrive. No perfect moment. There is only now and what you do with it. You can scroll, sit, wish, or act. Take one hard step today, then another tomorrow. One day you'll look back and realize you didn't just survive, you outgrew the misery. You turned breakdown into breakthrough. That is what happens when you stop waiting for someone else to save you. Choose gratitude, even when it hurts, especially then. That's when your mind wants to break, when emotions spiral, when your heart clings to pain instead of purpose. That is when gratitude becomes your weapon. Not shallow lists of comfort, but a force that rips through excuses and reminds you, you are here, you are capable, you are breathing, and as long as you breathe, you can choose your response. Gratitude is not a reward for the comfortable. It is a discipline for warriors. Anyone can be grateful when life is easy. True strength is revealed when nothing makes sense, when everything hurts and you whisper, thank you for the fight, the challenge, the pain that shows where I am still weak, still unfinished. This is not delusion, it's decision. Decision to stop waiting for perfect conditions. Decision to stop defining worth by what's missing, and start seeing what is possible through struggle. Train yourself to see differently. Look at the wreckage and say, there is still something here for me. If you only allow gratitude when it's easy, you live in debt, waiting, longing, blaming, chasing feelings instead of creating strength. Real gratitude doesn't shift focus. It resets your nervous system. It transforms posture, turns victimhood into victory, rewrites this is the end into this is where I begin again. You don't need more time to be thankful. You need more truth. You've survived. You are more resilient than you realize. Even if the world forgets you, you can remember yourself. Gratitude shows your worth when life tries to bury it. Light when your mind shows darkness. It is not weakness, it is rebellion. You can be broken and grateful. Cry and say thank you. That is what makes you unshakable. Don't wait to feel ready. Practice now. In pain, exhaustion, silence. Gratitude is a muscle. Use it or lose it. See the tiniest victory, the briefest spark of growth, and you transform. You learn to dance in storms, bend without breaking, bleed without bowing. Gratitude chosen under fire becomes shield, sword, and sanity. You don't owe the world happiness, but you owe yourself the discipline to find power in chaos. Gratitude is power, clarity, energy. It seems soft, but it's steel. It keeps your mind from crumbling under pressure, your spirit from rotting in self-pity. It wakes you when you want to shut down. It gives control over the only thing you truly own, your attitude. You can't control pain or fix every problem, but you can control perception. And the most powerful perception is this: there is something in this moment to be grateful for, and I will find it. Pain lies. It says all is lost. Gratitude whispers truth. Look closer. At your breath, your fight, how far you've come. You've overcome the impossible, buried old versions of yourself, stood up again and again. Gratitude shows not just wounds, but the warrior. Not just loss, but the lesson. Not just pain, but the path forward. You practice gratitude not because life is good, but because you are determined to grow, refuse to be ruled by circumstance, and believe you are made for more than survival. You are made to rise again and again.